Hey guys, I've got a quick tutorial for you today. I just want to show you something that has to do with the MIDI routing. To be specific, I want to show you how to route separate MIDI nodes to separate MIDI channels. I use that actually quite a lot. Here is a song where I used it, and I mainly use it with Trillion. And this is the region where it's applied, and here another one. I'll play you a bit of the song. And here you can see it in action, because I've got here I've got one melody which is doubled, meaning that it's it has one version playing an octave higher, and these sound quite different from these. And that is not only because they are an octave apart, it's also because it's actually a different sound. And that is because these notes are going to MIDI channel 1, which is triggering a different patch than these, which are going to MIDI channel 2. And I can show you that with something that I can't mess up right here, because I don't want to mess with my song. So I've made a new melody here. Let's check it out. We have these bass notes, and these should all go to channel 1. And how we can route that is by clicking on them. First I'll disable this for a second, clicking on them and then pressing Option E, and then we get this little window, and here we see that the position of the note. So it's at the second bar, first beat, first tick. Then it says it's a note. We kind of know that, but it's cool to get a reassurance on that. And then we see the MIDI channel, which is set to 1 right now, and the note and the velocity and where the note ends. So this channel here we can change, and we can set it from 1 to 16, because we have 16 available MIDI channels. And all these notes are set to 1, but these upper notes, those that are playing a G, are all set to MIDI channel 2. If I click them, you can see the position change, but the channel is the same for all of them. So now when I open up Trillion, I have at the top here, I have multiple patches, and this is patch 1. And then we have patch 2 here. And how you set it up in Trillion is that you can go to multi, and then here you have your different patches, and you can set channel 1 to play patch 1, channel 2, this is the default. I could also use 2 channels 1, or I could set them all to the same channel. And there are more sense where you can do this, so this is not only a Trillion thing, but it also works in Omnisphere, for example, but there are several more. And this can also be handy when you want to send out MIDI to a different application. Let's say you have Ableton running in the background and you have a synth inside Ableton. You can set that to a specific channel, so it only gets triggered by specific notes, and then you can send this MIDI to your IAC driver, which is in your Mac Utilities folder. This way it's very good and handy to get a grip on how that routing works and what you can do, because when I started out with designing sounds and producing, I didn't really realize all the possibilities of channeling your MIDI and audio routing and stuff like that. And this is a very useful tool for that, because I also use this routing to send stuff to standalone synthesizers that are not running inside Logic or inside DAW, and then I send them back into Logic, for example, to record that. And if you want to know more about that, let me know and I'll do some tutorials on that. Also, if you want to learn a little bit about Trillion, which is an amazing synthesizer, you can let me know, because there are not a lot of tutorials out there about Trillion. Anyway, I think I've explained it all. I've showed you how to choose different MIDI channels and how to choose different patches. So this patch 2 is receiving on channel 2, and this patch 1 is receiving on channel 1. And I could take that a step further. I could also use a new note here on the D sharp, and then I'll open that same window again by pressing Option E, selecting my note carefully, and then saying channel 3. And now only that note is going to channel 3, which is this patch, and you can see it light up when it gets there very quickly. So we can choose another sound for that. We can transpose it down a little bit. And that one also to channel 3. And then one last thing is that you can now also route this to different outputs. So say you want to mix this sound differently than the other sounds, then you can route it to other outputs and get it on other buses inside Logic, and then you can completely mix it separately, but you still have everything sourced in one plugin, which is pretty useful. So I hope you got something out of that. If you still got questions, let me know. If you want Trillion tutorials, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.